time that I felt like I failed was now when the girls got into an accident. That day I was at home. Normally, this is what I do because I really travel a lot. I normally, when I'm at home, I used to, if I'm at home, I want to go and pick them from school. If I'm at home in the evening, or if I'm at home in the morning, I want to drop them off to school. And then maybe when they come back from school, they come back with the school bus. So that day, normally that is what I would do. But that day I just felt lazy. I didn't, because I would have gone to pick them from school. But I was just at home waiting for them to come home. And then the next thing I'm hearing is that they got into an accident. So I really blamed, as much as, okay, the blame, 90%, 100% of the blame is at school. But there's that blame that I had the conviction in me, like, why didn't I go and pick them? If I had gone to pick them, this would not have happened. Because that was a tradition. And then this one time that I did not, heed to that call to go and pick them, this happens. So I really blamed myself a lot. A lot, because that one decision that I did not make changed everything. Because now you see one of my girls is a little bit, just a tad bit off, which is okay because of the results of the accident. But I still blame myself a little bit, like, why didn't I just go and pick them? And I was at home. What was keeping me at home? Really, what was keeping me at home? Because most of the time, it's not that I dress up. It's 5 minutes from home. I just go with Adele and pick them. I call the school, like, today, don't drop them off, I'll pick them. And then this one time that I did not go and pick them because I was lazy is when the tragedy happened. So that is one thing I felt like I failed. Though I don't want to blame myself, but I still blame myself a little bit. I wish I went to pick them from school. I wish I did.
This is what I would say, A lot of times, as we were talking initially, is that God knows the beginning from the end. He knows the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. And a lot of times we might try to find reasons as to why, so that we can, and we consistently looking at how would have things been done differently. How would I have avoided such a situation? But a lot of these things is to the glory. It is to the glory of God. It is to the testimony that, you know what, God did it. Because the accident was fatal. These children being here is a miracle, and it's just a miracle. It is a miracle. And I feel like it's just God using that was supposed to, it was written. It was written. Sometimes there's only so much or so little that we can do or control.
Because I normally say, like, after that whole thing, I know, like, the point you've made was like, it needed to happen the way it happened for God to show up and show out. God needed to flex and remind me that He is God.
He is God.
He is God in the beginning, in the end, in the middle, all around, that He is God. And also He needed to remind me that, you know what, my daughter, you have been absent for a while. Because after all that, imagine, it's when as much as, yes, I'm spiritual, I love God and all that, I didn't go to church for a very long time. Though I used to pray, but I needed. So when I after all that, I was like, you know what, God spared my kids. It would be injustice if I didn't go back to His house and give Him thanks and just go back and, just be the person that I used to be back in the days when I built. Because, I've been in my church for over 20 years. And then there was a point, like, because I was just at home, we were building the church. Like, I'm building the house of God. And I used to feel nice. And from that is when I got my job.
There's something. Now we're going to get into a session of preaching.
From that, that was the grace of God. There was because sometimes people call me like, ulipataje kazi nini unajua nani? I'm like, you know what, number one, I don't have a good father. I don't know any influential person. I don't have
nothing. God is your connection.
my connection, and God is my Godfather.
Yes.
If you're asking me about a Godfather, God is the Godfather that I know, because sin is a connection that people think that I have.
Yeah.
And truly looking at my surrounding, people are connected. People are connected.
Yeah.
But me, I normally just say, for me, it's just the favor of God. Because even me getting this job, I was like, you know what? Ama ni ile mama when nilibeba those days, when the pastor was calling out on people like on the breathing, like, if you're free, just come. Saidia hata kusukuma hiyo wheelbarrow ya sand, you know, because you know that now that they'll be saving one extra hand from those guys to, you know, because now I'm there. So, you know, so for me, I felt like this is where I got, and up to now, it's like the church has been around, now the one that we built, I think 10 plus years.
Yes.
The favor, God has not forgotten what I did. Hiyo mawe tu moja yenye nilibeba.
Yes.
He has not forgotten, because sometimes I look at things, I'm like, okay, I'm so worldly. Yani nimeishi, but still God favors me. God still looks at me and has not forgotten me. Even when bad things are happening to people, even worse, it does not mean that it doesn't happen to me, but it's not as bad. I look at people's situations, I'm not badly off.
No.
You know, God has spared me some of these things, and I'm so grateful, and I don't take it for granted. But my wake-up call was my kids having, you know, because me, I was losing my kids. That day, the devil had meant to, you know, take everything that was meant to kill. He meant to kill. But you know what? God was so gracious, and God was so merciful. In fact, the keyword here is that God was so merciful. And he reminded me that, you know what, no matter what, I'm still your dad. You know, in everything, come to me and I will give you rest. And yani venye nimerudi church na ubaya, hata kama ninaenda. Ninaenda kanisa. Yani I do not want anything that will give me contradiction with God. I'm not perfect. And God did not come for the perfect, by the way. Jesus did not come for the perfect.
We are real people with real issues.
Yeah, he came for the imperfect. David was not perfect. Moses was not perfect. Everybody else mentioned in the Bible that God used, none of them was perfect. The only perfect being was Jesus. Everybody else was, we asked, and God knows that we have our imperfections, and you know, we are a work in progress. So yeah, that was I'm not a pastor. But God is God. Me, I will forever say, like, I will elevate God in every situation, in any situation, because at the end of it, God be God. Small girl be God.
Small girl be God, exactly. Yes. And this is an encouragement that I would like to also, you know, put it out there for our audience. And when you are about God's business, he gets into your business. When you are about God's business, sometimes it looks insignificant. Serving in church, doing the Lord's work, even if it's not in church, you know, doing what you need to do. When you are all about God's business, you invite God into your business, because there's no way you're going to be here diligently serving him and doing what you need to do, and then he's not there for you. No. He will always show up and show out. And a lot of things that I say is a good act that you do. Let's say, for example, an act of kindness. That is a seed that you plant. You might not be the one to reap it, but your children, yes, your children, because God does not forget. Your children may be the ones to reap that. Your grandchildren, you need to remember.
Kinyanjui. Ule wa Gatundu. Huyo msichana alinisaidia sana. Wewe umesema ni mjukuu wake. Kuja. You know that, you know, grace. God gives grace and favor. Yeah, that's what you plant without knowing. Knowing, and you will reap. Very true. Guys. I am loving this segment. This is nice, my God, and so refreshing. I it's out of the norm. Tunakwanga serious sana, but I love this question and answer segment. You know, I really love it.
I think we should switch it up a bit, and then we get back to another deep question. If you won the lottery, what would you do with the money? Money. What would you do?
Aki niko na shida mingi. have a lot of money problems to solve. I know. I have a lot of money problems. But number one, for sure, I'll give my tithe.
Yes.
That's done with. Sasa ile imebaki. Whoa, school fees.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole year.
Yes.
Okay, but it depends. It actually depends with lottery. And lottery, probably you're talking about millions.
We're talking about millions.
Yeah. So let's give it like probably 100 M. Yeah? So that's 10 M church.
Yeah.
My tithe. Mimi na Mungu imeisha hiyo deni.
Yes.
Nimelipa. Sasa sina deni ya Mungu kwa hii pesa. The second one, of course, I don't like to rent. I would buy myself a home. Yeah, like just get over myself in this rent issue. And then I just buy like maybe a 20 M house or built whatever, as long as that's like the budget, 20 to 25 M. And then put a trust fund in the name of my kids. Like kama ni 5M each, you know, as they're growing, before they get access to that, itakuwa imesha accumulate. Probably from 18 years, that's when they'll have access. It has given them a lifetime of, you know, of lifetime of meaning. I'd have secured their future. Secured their future. Yeah. And then also I would of course buy land, for invest in stocks, invest in money market, in government bonds, like just what I'm doing anyway. Just, you know, do the top ups just to build up my wealth. Of course, go on a holiday. For sure. Me and my turtles. That's what to enjoy pesa. To enjoy. And then of course buying a new car. Who doesn't? Yeah, what people pretend as, but who would not want a new car and upgrade? And upgrade my car to, you know, that my dream car that I've always wanted. You know, at that point I'll have my house. Now I'll have a nice car, and then invest in my kids in education, in my care trust, and then I'll look at probably a nice school. Of course, they're in a good school. So maybe if you continue the school, so maybe like a year or 2 years of school fees, and have an arrangement to the school in case of anything, they're able, without Randikshana, they're able to refund back the money, in writing. So, you know, just secure some things that I'm able to rest for like about 2 years. I'm not even thinking of anything. That's what I would do. What would you do?
Right. For me, just like you, I would also 10% goes to tithing. And I was saying initially, like as a more matured Christian, the one thing that I've gotten, or the one thing that really helped me heal from my church wounds, I said initially that, you know, I used to be a young girl who serves in church, as a worship leader, all these things, So when I got a child, I was, you know, there are definitely consequences also. But being pushed aside from church, everybody, all your friends, you have no one. I had church wounds, and I stopped going to church, So, but right now, when I go back to church, and this is the one thing that really healed my soul, is that God's blessings are not performance based. They are not performance based. It's not about how you go to church and lift your hands. It's not about how much tithe you remove. It's not about whatever you're doing. It is grace based. And I think that really healed me because, you know, sometimes you look at it and you're like, who am I really doing it for? Sometimes we tend to think that if I do this, God is going to reward me like this. But it's not about performance. You know, sometimes I love, because this really healed me. And it really helped me let go of all the pain that I had and all my church wounds. Was when I reflect back on the young Christian that I was. We call them retired saints when you stop serving in church and you stop. When I look back, I look at, okay, what was the intention of me? When I was leading praise, what was the intention behind it? Number one, I've been raised in church. So it's a culture for me from the family. The other thing is, am I doing it to just be seen that I am doing this? Who are you doing it for, really? And the other thing is, we cannot bribe God. You cannot. So anyway, back to whatever I was talking about. I digress.
I just like literally bribing God, like, you know, they took it to literally, like, how do
you cannot bribe God. Fanya hivi, so wewe ninafanya hivi ndio Mungu afanye hivi. Hapana, haiwezekani. So for me, it's tithe. And I mean, I feel like all the issues that we have as adults right now is all financial. Definitely, I hate renting, just like you. I really do not like renting. I would definitely get myself a home. I would invest in, when I look at myself and I look at what do I want my legacy to be? And my legacy, not just in, as I'm impacting the lives around me. The one thing that has really changed my perspective on spirituality and has changed the reason as to why I'm a parent is, the devil always attacks the seed. The devil always attacks the seed. When you look at the story of Jesus and the story of Moses, the firstborn children were killed. Why? Because there was a seed that he did not want to become a fruit. Because when that fruit comes, it is here to destroy the work of the enemy. So when I think about these things and I look at what kind of person do I want to be for my generations to come? So a lot of it is, number one, definitely securing the future of my children and ensuring that my generations to come are set up. Outside that, there's one thing I've always said, and I think I experienced this as a young single mom, is that there was very little support. It was a lot of shaming on, you made the wrong decision, you chose wrong, you should have chosen better. There was a lot of shaming, and there's still a lot of shaming. And I feel like it's about time, we stop shaming, because we don't know circumstances. You don't know whether someone got pregnant through sexual abuse. You have no idea about somebody's story. None whatsoever. You do not know anybody's story. So you here casting fingers and pointing fingers. I mean, you need to first of all reflect on you, extend grace, and a man is to err. A man is to err, and it's not like encouraging people to go and have reckless sex out here and sire children that you know. It's just about what I'm saying is, for me as a young mom, I have always had this. I never had the support, like I thought I would have. And in those moments at my lowest, I would have a hub for single moms because I've always had a heaviness. And I think this would make my life so fulfilling. It would, with the money that I would set aside, outside everything that I've done for myself, I would definitely set aside a fund to help support solo moms, widows, young moms, teenage moms, all this kind of moms, to just help support them in terms of helping them gain a skill. Whether it's a school I'm going to have and offer these lessons for free, tailoring, cake baking, all this in a way that these young moms or these moms can be equipped with a skill that they can be able to help themselves. And if it's just equipment to just get you started, I would love to do that because that would give me so much fulfillment. And the way people say that they'd love that, I think that will give me so much fulfillment in life. And if I won a lottery, it would be that a portion of it would definitely be for that, dedicated to that. Yes, to be a project and to be something that hopefully invite even people to come around and come support. If you can, if you know of a skill and you can teach, you can volunteer, I mean, come do it. Yes. So
that skill would be a game changer for someone. And not just someone, for families. That one person who's going back home is you're gonna feed like 5 families, and then this skill she will probably teach to someone else, and then it's gonna feed like another family. So when you look at the it trickling down and the line that it's forming, you'll realize that one person that you trained has impacted like another 100 other people, just from that skill that you generously impacted on them. That's wow. That's very.
And I keep saying, even if it's even if it's just one, and this is the one thing I've gotten to a point of just settling in, because I constantly ask myself, what do I want to be my legacy? What impact do I want to make with the much or with the little that I have? Yeah. Whether it's with my nanny, whether it's with my sister, whether it is with my friend, whether it's someone, who's at a more higher level than me, what impact can I create around me? And I don't want to be paid. I want you to continue. Pay it forward in kindness. The same kindness that was extended to you, pay it forward in kindness.
The same thing.
Yes.
What's a kindness? Still on kindness,
Okay.
What's a kindness that someone did for you that you've never forgotten?
I have two major ones. I have two major ones, yeah.
First things first, let's define kindness for people to understand.
Read it out. All right. Kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, or considerate. Yeah. So, that is what it means. True meaning of kindness is a type of behavior marked by acts of generosity, consideration, rendering assistance or concern for others without expecting praise or reward in return.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now let's go back to kindness.
What's an act of kindness that
someone did for you that you've never forgotten?
I have a friend of mine. I have two major ones here. I have a friend of mine called H, and I will say her name because she has been a big part of my journey and a big part of my life. And I want to celebrate this woman today here because
let's give H her flowers.
Yes.
As International Women's Day, babe, receive your flowers.
Receive your flowers.
Yeah.
I love you so much. Yeah. I would want to celebrate this lady because when I became a mom or when I became a child and I made the confession that I am pregnant, I had so very harsh judgment around me and everybody, departed. Nobody wanted association with someone who's gotten a child out of wedlock. I was called the black sheep in my family. I was called all names. Yeah, there was a lot of shaming. But this babe and I were not friends at all. We used to work together, but would I say hated each other? We just disliked each other. We never liked each other. And we are like north and south. The way you don't expect, that's the people that you don't expect to ever become friends. And when we became friends, I believe everybody we used to work with, they're always like, how are you two friends? Like it's something that has never, yes, extreme opposites. But in that moment, and I believe God placed this woman on my path for a reason, she stood by me. She held my hand through the depression. She held my hand through it all. And through the years, we are celebrating, actually on the 20, on this April, we'll be celebrating 10 years of friendship. We will be celebrating 10 years of friendship. She has been there. You see, that person who really genuinely, her heart is she's just kind. It's the people that, God, this is one thing I say. God uses that unexpected. The thing that you do not think he would use, or the person that you think he would not choose, that is the person that he glorifies himself with because he uses that person. And I believe that God placed her on my path to show me that, and this is what I say, I am born again, but all my friends cannot, all of them be born again. You need to have a balanced ecosystem, because you cannot get everything from just your certain folks. No, you can't. And the one thing is, we were north and south. I was an extreme Christian. Holier than thou. I used to be that. Hey, holier than thou, babe. Nilikole mrembo wa holier than thou, but we don't judge. And now I'm glad I can talk about it and laugh about it, Yeah. So she has stood by me through thick and thin, been there for every child that I have birthed, been there since I became a mom, has been there through, every heartbreak, every celebration, every high, every low, through the valley, through the on the mountaintops, she has been there. So my heart goes out to you and I celebrate you. Thank you for being a very significant part of my life. I couldn't I don't know. I don't know. I would never repay you, but you know what? I pray for you every single day, and I love our friendship. You know, it's those friendships that, you know, God, it's those people that God puts on your path that really, truly changes your scope or how your outlook and perspective about life, about friendship, about a lot of things. And, you know, I say that friendship is just like a relationship, it's just like a marriage. You are two different people, two different backgrounds, all these things. And, you know, we call each other wife. The reason is, you know, the way you go through life. And let's say you have a husband. Now, everybody is straight, by the way. So don't misconstrue that. We call each other wife. And this is the one thing I say about friendship is like marriage. You settle with someone, you have, you know, you guys can have different ideals, and you have to get to a point of compromise, and you get to a point of growth where now you honeymoon stage ilishapia kwa friendship, you guys can fight, you can get back together, you can, you know, you can call each other out and all that. Yeah, so yeah, that babe has always been the first thing. Secondly is recently, and that is you.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, and I cannot wait. Let me give you a toast.
This girl.
Thank you so much. On this International Women's Day, I want to celebrate you, Sharon, for being a very integral part of my life. I want to celebrate the woman that you are. You know, she says that she's a giver. My life, I'm in a very different season right now. And what you did, I know I don't want to talk about it right now until it actually actualizes. Yeah, how you have shown up for me. God, I'm getting emotional.
Right.
Are you?
Ivy, my God.
When you pray calls and when you're praying to God to just keep you aside, God has used you in a way that, I don't know. The truth is, we had fallen apart. We had fallen apart, and then we found our way back to each other. And I just want to celebrate you. I want to celebrate your kindness. I want to celebrate your generosity. I want to celebrate the encouragement that you give. I want to celebrate who you are, the mother that you are, the friend that you are, the daughter that you are, the sibling that you are. Because a lot of times, people don't show up.
Right. Ivy. Ooh.
The way, for me, you have recently, yeah. And I'm in a very different season in my life. I'm definitely going to be talking about this sometime later. Yeah. So I want to celebrate your kindness, because when you have a friend who will handhold you and they want to ensure that, you know what, I want to make sure that you get out of that place that you feel you're stuck, and genuinely does it with a very clean and open heart, it's very rare to find. And this is what I say about friendship, is that friends, the analogy of friendship for me, this is what it looks like. Yeah, friendship is like a spaceship. And I think I've mentioned this to you before, and I've mentioned to all my friends before, or people I've come across. It's like a spaceship. And this spaceship is that it will only be erected, or rather, it's itaka kana kwamba imeshikiliwa, and it cannot launch until it lets go. It lets go. Let's go. Yeah, of some components. Yeah, and for that spaceship to launch, it has to let go of some things that are propping it up. Yeah, and that is the same thing about our friendships. And I think a lot of times we approach friendship and relationships and people we meet in life with a lot of expectation, and we expect them to be there for a lifetime. Yeah. But sometimes God places these people for a season and for a reason. Yeah. And the one thing I've learned is to not hold on to things that no longer serve, including friendships. Yeah. So sometimes for a spaceship to launch, it will need some things to prop it up. Yeah. And until it that is let go, that is the only time it can launch. Yeah. So that is the same thing as friends. You will have friends who will be there for you through your worst, through your lowest, through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And they will hold you down and hold you up and prop you up. But it will get to a point of time where you grow, or you no longer cannot relate on the same, and you will have to let go and launch. And you have to do this without feeling guilty, because a lot of times we find ourselves feeling guilty because of, oh, this person has been there for me since day one. But you also have to have friends who grow with you. Yeah. So the spaceship launches, and then it launches. Now there are components that it will carry with it, but for it to get to, yes,
Then it lets go.
so that it can get to where it's supposed to be. So there are friends who you will have propped you up. You launch with them, and once you launch with them to whatever sphere, at some point that spaceship will have to let go, so that now it can get to where it's supposed to be. Yeah. So the same thing with friendship. Now you will have to at some point let go of some friendships, so that you can now launch to where you're supposed to be. And now there are friends that you will also go with to that particular space. And yeah, that's my analogy of friendship. And I hope that if you're struggling in any of your friendships, that you can also reflect on that analogy and help you be able to come to a decision in whatever friendships, and just have an audit of the friends that you have, because my God, you need to have friends who, this is one thing I say, I cannot keep friends who do not challenge me. I cannot have friends who it's always about misery. Woye, woye. Manze, I can't deal. Yeah. We, each of us, if you are down, I want to be there to, get you out of that place. If you are, you're going through struggles, I'll be there to walk with you. Whatever it is, but we are consistently challenging each other to be better. And if I cannot tell you where you're failing as my friend, then there's no point of that friendship. Yeah. So in terms of kindness, I think kindness is also for me, it's also in terms of how showing up and just, I think it's when you're in the valley is when it really defines people around you, and it really defines who is in your corner. So yeah, long story short, I want to celebrate two incredible women this International Women's Day, H and Shazi, Mama Twins. I am very grateful for you guys. Yes. I am very, very grateful for you guys. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll popcorn the question back to you, girl.
That you said, should I do like Sami Ndasema Nini? What act of kindness for me is the godmother of my kids. Yani, modem. God too. I normally say it's God who will always repay her. Yeah. Anyway, for me, she's always shown that act of kindness, even when the girls got into the accident. Like I didn't even call her. Yeah. Someone had my phone, I can call. Yes. And this girl was doing something for the son. She dropped everything. Yeah. That same day. Yeah. And within minutes, she was at the hospital. Yeah. Before we did the transfers and everything, she was there. Even at the ambulance, we drove in together. I felt like, wow, it's not like so many people would do that for you, number one. But for me, my number one was like when my mom died many, many years ago. Yeah. She was there for me. So I remember when I got a call from my now work, I told them like, no, I can't come now. I'm just going through matanga for my mom. We're actually going through the burial. And then they were like, okay, it's okay. You just grieve. And then we'll call you back after 2 weeks. Yeah. So after 2 weeks, they called back for me to go for the interview. And she's like, you know what? She came, picked me up from my house, took me for the interview. I was like, and she waited for me through the whole process. Yeah. Through the whole process. So I was like, on a typical day, it's like you just get into an Uber. Yeah. taxi, go for the interview and come back and the day is done. But she literally blocked that day for me because I was so broken. Now my mom is not here to enjoy the fruits of her labor. Now these guys, we were really praying for this job, and then the job is now here, and she's not here to even see me go through the interview process. Na nini nini. But her now, she filled that part for me. She filled in that part for me. I've never forgotten. It's now 12 years. Yeah. Imagine 12 years ago.
For decades. Yeah.
Never forgotten. Forgotten. For me, it was like, because after my siblings, they all have jobs. Me, I never took time out to go and take them for the interviews. You know, we end up with pambane too, you know. But her, she really stood in the gap for me and encouraged me. Even that's why she's the godmother of my kids. Like even now, the life's challenges. She still encourages me when I don't know what to do. She knows what to do. She'll take me through it. She has her own struggles. Kabisa, she has her own struggles, but she will still make time for me. For me, that's an act of kindness that I don't know me if I've done for someone else. So I don't take it for granted. Yeah. So shout out to anonymous godmother. Until she gives me the permission to mention her name, she'll still be like godmother. Yeah.
I love this. And I feel like this is such a good note to end this because it's about celebrating women and the women in our lives. And, just the people around us and the people who have been there. I mean, we don't take it for granted. Yeah.
So shout out to godmother, shout out to all moms, shout out to all women in the world. You are who you are, and you are who you believe you are. We love you, we celebrate you, we don't take you for granted. And we thank God for having women in this lifetime and in this world, because we would not be in existence. There's a reason why women are women. So shout out to all women in the world. Happy International Women's Day and happy Mother's Day as well to all moms to be, moms who are the children are in heaven, surrogate moms. Just as long as you're a mom, you're playing that role for a mom. Shout out to you. You're loved, you're appreciated, and we you're the real ones. Love you.
Oh, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say, but you know what? I will remind each and every woman today that you are enough. Whatever you have been through, wherever you are at in life, you are enough. Always look back, and you know what? Sometimes it looks bleak, but the future is bright. It is bright. And I mean, everybody's journey is not the same, as the analogy that we gave earlier on, the steps of education and all that. Everybody's path is different. So let's celebrate each other. Let us always empower each other, and let us keep propping each other up and encouraging each other and holding each other accountable as well. So we celebrate you, and happy International
Women's Day, and looking forward to hosting you again. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share on Just Moms Unfiltered.
Here at Just Moms Unfiltered, we keep it real and we keep it real. Until next time. Yes.